Yo, what's going on, man? Today is January the 2nd, 2023. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. I'm live on Twitter. I'm also live on YouTube as well. Start the show off a little different today, man. I typically tell you guys hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And you can if you want to, but I got and it's not funny. It actually almost it hurt. It hurt real bad. I got smoked yesterday. 1-4 day. It was not a good day at all. I felt good about all the plays, and if I had to make them all again, and we had the same exact card, I probably make all the plays again. I'm always super confident in the plays that I make. If I'm not confident, I typically don't play them. But we had Minnesota on the money line yesterday versus the Knicks. We see the Knicks come out. The Timberwolves actually came out and won the first quarter. It was pretty easy. And then the Knicks scored 38 points in the second quarter, and the Knicks looked like the greatest teams to slice bread. So not betting on or against the Knicks for at least 2 weeks. I wrote that down. I typically write rules for myself while as the sports betting season goes on. So that's one rule I wrote down. I wrote down two rules. I'll get to the next one in a second, but not betting against the Knicks or on the Knicks or any Knicks games at all. So don't look for me to be betting those. Also had Jared Allen over his 28.5 points plus rebounds. Absolutely brutal spot. He shoots 45% from the field yesterday. Typically shoots like 70% from the field. And can't dominate against Jakob Poeltl. Really bad beat there. I think he finished with 26 points plus rebounds, or 27, I think, points plus rebounds. So 0-2 to start the day. Then we had Houston first quarter, first half, and full game. What does Houston do? Man, this one hurt the most. This one hurt the most. Killian Hayes hits a three-pointer with no time left on the clock. I think it was a step back three on the right-hand side, too. And the Rockets go from winning by 4, but winning by 5 to winning the first quarter by 2. That crushed my soul. I knew I was in for a bad day. That just kind of made it a whole lot worse. Then the first half, for anybody who took Houston first half, I actually loved that play a lot. It was Jalen Duren who picked up a rebound. With no time, literally 0.5 seconds left. Houston's winning by 6. He gets the tip in on an air ball shot. So Houston wins the first half by 4. We had them by 5. Houston did cover it. They didn't wake up into the second half. They ended up covering the full game. So that was the one winner. And then we had Denver team total over 120.5. And Denver looks absolutely disgusting throughout the first quarter and first half. They scored 24 points in the first quarter, 25 points at halftime. And I'm just like, how? Against Charlotte? How? They don't even got Mark Williams. So they didn't get to their team total. Probably should have just played Charlotte team total under, which is what we did in retrospect the other day, especially when Terry Rozier got ruled out. So it was a bad day, man. It was really, really bad. And I'm not gonna say it affected my confidence, but I'm definitely scaling back a little bit. I didn't even make a bet today. I made no bets today. There's a couple of things that I'm looking at, but I haven't placed a single bet today. So for the members, my apologies. Also, I think Fred VanVleet and the Rockets are apologizing. The Timberwolves, supposedly the best team in the Western Conference, they're also apologizing. But yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But that is the recap. 1-4. Like I said, we'll get it back. I'm confident in that, but it's a terrible way to start the new year, man. So I just kind of wanted to go through. I'm always transparent with you guys, and I like to make sure that I'm giving you guys a recap. And it was bad, man. It was really, really bad. Let's get into the games for today, though. And appreciate everybody for sending the positive vibes. Everybody that's in the comment section. Appreciate you guys for stopping through for sure. What's up, S. Prolific? Says you got to be careful with these lines. They're awfully sharp. Please hit the like and subscribe. Appreciate that. What's up, Barksdale? All my members here, man. What's up, Davey? Says happy Tuesday. I'm locked in. Celtics Thunder about to take up the most time, but the Orlando Golden State game could be spectacular. Let's cash. Absolutely. Elaine, appreciate you for being here. She says hit the like button while you're waiting. SoCal ball nerd, Navi, Tasha. Locked In Sports, all the guys, man. I appreciate y'all. And the ladies. I appreciate everybody for pulling up, man. Sneaks and Socks, Go Young DJ. Yeah, appreciate that for sure. Let's get into the games for today, though. We not here to go through the comments. We're here to talk about the games. So first game up, we got the Sixers at the crib. They are home favorites today. They land 10. Last time I looked at the line, it was 10.5 still. These lines are sharp, kind of like what Prolific said in the chat. These lines are pretty sharp. Let me just check and make sure. I did these banners a while ago. So line's actually coming down now in favor of Chicago. It opened at 11. It came down to 10.5 this morning. You guys see 10.5 on the screen. It's down to 10 now. Total also coming down, and that's what I kind of like a little bit more is the total in this one. So this game to me is a really difficult game to cap from the perspective of the spread, and that's typically how I like to play these games. But Chicago, they'll be without Vucevic still. Embiid is back. This will be his first game back after missing that whole 4-game road trip that they had. They started right after on the Christmas Day game when he set out. DeAnthony Milton was also listed as out. I saw him listed as out with a spine injury. I got to double check that just to make sure, but I want to say DeAnthony Milton is out. Yeah, he is out because it looks like Kelly Oubre is projected to be in the starting lineup. So head-to-head, Philly has won both games so far this season, so you get a double revenge spot for Philly in this spot. This is the most recent game was actually on Saturday, and that was the second leg of a back-to-back for the Philadelphia 76ers. We were on Philly the night before against the Houston Rockets. We won that one, and then probably should have stayed off them, but we took them in the first half of that next game. This time, Chicago is actually on the front end of a back-to-back, and they have to travel to New York to play against the Knicks tomorrow. For Philly, this team has been absolutely red hot at the crib. They're 12-4 straight up and against the spread. This will be their first game back home after the 4-game road trip. They did have some time to kind of practice because both of these teams had 2 days off traveling from Chicago to Philly. This will also be their first home game since the 30th, though, and they don't play again until Friday when they host the Knicks. So I kind of like Philly. Chicago has been good without Zach LaVine. We know that, right? I'm not going to give you guys the numbers. But without Vucevic as well, this team is starting to play like some really good basketball. I thought at least Philly would have the lead at the end of the first quarter, and they didn't. You see Drummond come in. He's really helped, not really looking like a backup center, more looking like a starting center. So you don't really lose as much, when you lose Vucevic, except outside shooting. Drummond's not the greatest. He's not the best outside shooter, but he does provide defense, rebounding. Can he stop Embiid? I don't think so. I think Embiid's going to be extremely motivated in this spot. I think if you're Philly, you have to be motivated. Not only did this team beat you as a 10-point when you were laying 10 in the last game, but they also, they beat you outright in that game. But then you also just lost to them as well. So I think it's a Philly spot, man. It's hard to bet against Chicago right now because they have been covering spreads. I looked at a couple of different things in this game, and I'll tell you guys what I like the most. But the first thing I looked at was the under. This total was actually 225.5 is what I had written down. So this is a scenario I looked at. I looked at teams playing within a 7-day window. You previously lost as a dog, and then you open as a home favorite, and you have 2 days of rest. So you get that practice time in. Since 2013, those teams are 14-7 against the spread. And more importantly, for the under, it's the defense that really comes to play. So, and it makes sense, right? Philly, not necessarily their defense was so bad in the last game, but they couldn't really stop Chicago when they needed to. You get Embiid back, who's the anchor of your defense, and I think that helps a lot. Embiid, I don't think he'll be rusty in this spot because he's been going through and getting his conditioning in. So the creative I just kind of shared, which was you lose within 7 days as a dog, and then you open as a favorite, and you have 2 days of rest since 2013. For the last 5 teams, I want to say 6 of the last 7 teams as well have actually gone under their team total. For the Bulls, is also, like I said, the front of a back-to-back. I also went in and looked at the Bulls without Zach LaVine and without Vucevic. So specifically, like the last 3 games, the Bulls are actually 3-0 to the under in that spot. And in those 3 games, they're only averaging about 217 points. Themselves, they're only averaging 108 in that spot. So it's really been their defense. They're playing really, really slow pace. Both of these teams are bottom 5 in pace the last 5 games as well. And I think you kind of got to, conserve a little bit of that energy for the Knicks tomorrow, another conference opponent. So that all of that kind of made me lean towards the under in this game. The thing that's keeping me off the under is I did that research. Then I went in and looked at Philly specifically. So Philly, I looked at the Bulls. So the Bulls with these low totals, we know that the Bulls offense typically gets underrated, right? Like they get the low totals and they end up going over. Chicago, they're actually 8-2 to the over this season when they're playing on the road, and the total is less than 226 points. You see a total here of 223 points. So the reason why I mentioned this, the Bulls being 8-2 to the over in road games with a total of 226 or lower, is because all 10 of their opponents have actually gone over their team total in this spot. So while I lean full game over, to me, it does kind of feel like Philly should be able to score 116 and a half, 117 points. The problem with that, when you stay off the spread and you play a team total, sometimes the team can win, cover the spread, and you still not win the bet, right? So I'm not going to take too much time on the game. I just wanted to kind of give you guys my thought process on this game. 10 is a lot of points. Philly could come in here, absolutely clean them up, but it wouldn't surprise me if Chicago kept the game close. I think if I had to play anything, though, I'd probably be looking towards Philly in the first half. We know that they've been a really, really good first half team. They should be extremely motivated in the spot, especially after losing to this team just a couple games ago and also losing to them a couple weeks ago as well. I know Chicago's been balling, but to me, it feels like Philly should be the spot in this game. So also, like I said, lean towards that team total over for Philly. They have been scoring a lot of points with Joel Embiid in the game. He gets to the free throw line, stop the clock. So all of those things kind of make me lean towards Philly in this game. On the spread, team total over, and and in the first half. So I didn't choose to play it. Like I said, I'm trying to be a lot more calculated. I felt like yesterday the plays were good, but I don't want to overexpose myself too much. What's up, Navi? Appreciate you for being here. Tasha here as well. Lock the Sports says, what's up, brother? It happens. Long day. Let's cash today. Absolutely. What's up, Daniel? Avery said he likes the Sixers minus 10.5 in this spot. DFS. Chief says he likes the Bulls plus 10. Avery says double revenge spot for the Sixers here. They just played over the weekend. It was a horrible spot for the Sixers. Now we get the Sixers rested and we get Embiid back, who've been chilling. I agree with this logic, Avery, and I low-key wanted to smash Philly in this spot because I thought the same thing. I said double revenge spot. I remember Philly. I think we were on Philly team total over, I think, in the first game. And I was on Philly in the first half of the last game as well. For some reason, Chicago just matches up with them. I understand your logic here. I just thought that 10.5 was a tad bit too many points for me. Backdoor cover, like any of that stuff can happen. Although you don't really see as many backdoor covers when a team is on the second leg of a back-to-back, on the first leg of a back-to-back. So that you got a lot of things going in your favor, Avery. I do lean to this number with you as well. David says, Chris, deep breath. This is gambling. Wash your hands and let's move forward. Absolutely. Nah, I'm moving forward. It's just, man, I don't get too many bad breaks like that. At the same time, it was bad to lose 3 plays, on the hook. Man, it was bad. Avery says this is not fade the superstar coming back. Embiid coming back will give the team a boost. We saw that with Kawhi last night. This could be a spot where the Bulls miss Big Vooch because I see Embiid going right at Drummond early, and who gonna guard Embiid if Drummond gets a quick two fouls on him? I agree. I definitely agree with that. Drummond gonna have his hands full tonight for sure. Happy New Year to my guy Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit, let me know when your cap come in the mail too. I did put that in the mail for you, the ChrisBeCappinn snapback. So let me know when you get that. Navi likes Kobe White threes, a play that he's been cashing. I know it's got to be cashing if you keep taking it. Let's see. Avery says, give me the better team 1 through 15. Rested. Line is all over the Sixers here. Bulls were -1 on Saturday. The odds maker come all the way back on Tuesday and open their 10.5 line. Telling us a story here. Bulls first game on the road after 6 home game stand, fade spot. I agree with this logic, Avery. I think I like the first half a little bit more, but I definitely agree with it. I'm also not going to be playing a lot of first halves moving forward either. The numbers teams you're not that serious in the first half sometimes. So I'm probably going to stay off that as well. Fahrenheit likes Drummond, 14 rebounds in this spot, -125 on DraftKings. Says he has 25, 16, and 13 in his last 3. Locked and Loaded says he says I would have leaned 76ers minus the 10.5, but I can make an argument for the Bulls. Wouldn't invest in it. Raptors fan says, what's good, Chris? I like Philly first half team total over 57.5. Philly has covered this line in 4 of the last 5 games when Embiid is playing. I couldn't talk you off of that first half, either on the spread or with this team total. Could not talk you off it at all. David says, community challenge. Let's get 1 new member during the live. Hey, that'd be nice, David. I had to catch some plays first, man. I've been a little up and a little down recently. Markel says Fahrenheit also likes Kobe White, 5+ rebounds. Markel says, watch out Drummond foul trouble against Embiid because Embiid is good at doing that. That's a fact. And what's up to Markel as well? What's up, young Harlow? SoCal took Tobias Harris over 5.5 rebounds. Says the average is 6 versus the Bulls, and they've given up 6 boards per game to the power forward position. Tasha says she thinks that Chicago can cover 6.5 in the first half. The number should be down though now, Tasha. The spread coming down to 5, down to 10. The spread, the first half spread should be down to like 5 is what I would think. Typically it's half, or sometimes it's shaded to the home team. So maybe a 5.5. Shouldn't be 6.5 though. The number should come down. What's up to my guy Mitch? Bet on JC likes the Sixers in the first half. Let's see. Mitch says, Chris, looking like C Breezy out here, about to be singing in the rain. Absolutely not, man. I need my money back from the sports books, Mitch. Is how I feel. I ain't singing nothing. And I don't look like Breezy either. Let's see. Drummond under 5.5. Double DD under 5.5 assists in that game. Who's DD? DeMar DeRozan under 5.5 assists. Got me out here speculating. S. Dot says, hope all is well. Philly first half. I'm taking a break on the Heat. Yeah. Jermaine says, Chris, I gave her that Sacramento under last week. I like tonight in Bulls and Sixers. Ride that under train again. I'm with you there, Jermaine. I really like the under. I like the under. I think specifically it's Chicago team total under, especially with them being on the first leg of a back-to-back. I didn't get there, though. Did not get there. Too many things kind of going back and forth. And this is where I'm at with it, too, Frank. Live betting is where it's at. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. I could definitely see live betting this game, Frank. Let's see. Dante, last comment. Dante says every Sixers home win has covered this season. Every Sixers home win. So if they win, they cover. Okay. They were getting them cupcakes too, though. Let's keep moving, though. We got a long way to go. I got to stop reading all these comments. So next game up, we got Spurs. We got Grizzlies. This line was at 11. What was that? I think it opened at 12. Came down to 11.5. I saw it come all the way down to 10.5, which I think is what I wrote down 10.5, but you guys see 11. And that's the consensus right now. I was on Memphis in their last game against Sacramento. I thought it was a really good spot for them coming back home, catching a Sacramento team that had just beat Atlanta the night before. And you got Memphis, off a loss. I love the spot for Memphis in their last game. They were coming off the loss to the Clippers. They got smoked. They absolutely got smoked. Never really showed up in that game to get rebounds. And then you got Bismack Biyombo, who picks up 2 quick early fouls, and then they don't really have another center. They're still missing Brandon Clark, still missing Steven Adams. Probably won't get Brandon Clark back until I think maybe 2 months. I saw him going through some workout stuff. He was dunking. Dunk for the first time, I think it was last week, but you're going to be without Steven Adams. And they need those guys, right? As good as Ja Morant is, as good as Desmond Bane is, this team has been miserable at home as well. They're 2-12 at the crib and just 4-10. And they started off hot. They were 4-0 with Ja Morant. Since then, they've regressed. They're only 4-3 now. You get a Spurs team, which I really don't even like talking about the Spurs. They're so bad. They're 3-13 on the road. They have covered 6 of 16 spreads. So they're 6-10. Head-to-head, this is the second meeting. Memphis did go into San Antonio, clean them up in their meeting earlier this season. They won and covered that game, only laying 3.5 in that spot. Now you see the number come back up to 10.5, 11. I would love to take Memphis in this spot. I think it's a get right spot for them. Couple different. I didn't play it. The high spreads are not something that I'm typically going to be on a lot, unless I can find a really, really good reason, like a team on a third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 7 nights, something like that, and a major revenge spot. I do think the line is all over the Grizzlies because this game should be a blowout, though. The Grizzlies just gonna have to show me a little bit more before I want to start putting my money back on them again. When they lost the other night and didn't even make that game competitive, immediately what I was thinking, they just want to go out and have a good time, because it was New Year's Eve, and they didn't really care about that game. I thought they would have cared about that game, but it didn't look like it. I didn't see a lot of effort, didn't see a lot of energy in that spot. Could they turn up on the Spurs? Absolutely. The Spurs are the worst three-point defensive team in the league, but Memphis doesn't do a great job of shooting the three. They did get Luke Kennard back in his last game, and he absolutely went bananas. I want to say he hit 3 or 4 threes. Desmond Bane can shoot the three. Ja Morant, not so much. Santi Aldama, every now and then. Jared Jackson Jr. is pretty mediocre from the three-point line. But, that's where San Antonio is giving up their points. They're giving it up to the three-point line. Memphis is not really – their offense is actually last in the last 5 games, which I thought was pretty interesting. Last offensive-rated team over the last 5 games. So, I don't like that spot, as much. Whenever you want to fade the Spurs, you're always going to have to pay the premium. This is what I had on Memphis. So I looked at rested double-digit home favorites. So because they are laying more than 10 points. So rested double-digit home favorites since 2018, coming off a loss of 25 points or more, because they did lose by 31 to Sacramento. They're coming off a 25-point loss or more, 19-1 straight up, 16-4 against the spread. That says to take Memphis in the spot. I might regret it if I don't take it, but I still couldn't quite get there. 16-4 is 80% on the spread. The other way I looked in this game was just thinking about Memphis not playing. Maybe their offense isn't clicking on all cylinders right now, because last game was the first game they had everybody back, and you hear, I think it was Desmond Bain come out after the game and said, we'll be fine. We just got to, shake the cobwebs out from some of the other role players coming back. Marcus Smart played like 3 or 4 games. Luke Kennard, I think it was his first game back. Derrick Rose, his first game back as well. So if their offense is going to struggle, which is kind of hard to say their offense is going to struggle against the Spurs, then I was thinking, because their offense has been pretty bad, I was thinking Spurs team total under. The number is 111.5. In the query that I just shared with you guys, the rest at home favorites, the rest at home double-digit favorites since 2018, coming off a 25-point loss. So you're laying double digits off a 25-point loss or more. In those queries, 7 of the last 7 opponents, only one of them have actually gone over their team total. So you can say those opponents typically get the best defense in their next matchup. Spurs also 25th rated offense in the last 5 games, so they're not necessarily scoring the ball a lot anyway. So I do lean towards Memphis. I couldn't get there. Spread was a little bit too big for me. I think Memphis in the first half, even though San Antonio has typically been the better first half team, I think Memphis in the first half, just to kind of get that bad taste out of their mouth, could be a look, but nothing I felt like super confident in. So I didn't play this game either. Let's go back to the comments. I'll be quick with these ones, and then we'll move to the next one. Mitch says Memphis 0-11 against the spread, last 11 home back-to-backs. Okay. Daniel says he loves the Spurs first quarter. He got him at +4. Markel says, I'm cool. Pass game for me. Maybe job points if he played. Raptors fan says he playing Wemby over 2.5 blocks. Watch Ja is going to try and get a poster on the rookie. I thought about this as well, but I think Wemby will be up for the challenge. Also, Wemby has hit this line in 4 of his last 5 games on those blocks. Hobby says he likes Ja to get over 7.5 assists. This could be a really good look. Ja potential double game. Could definitely see this. Ja over 7.5 assists, and that's it for me in this game. He should be able to dish to whoever. I agree. Shadow says Ja points or assists, or points and assists. I think I like the assists a little bit more, especially with such a high spread. Tariq got a query right here. He says, since 2018, when you're coming off a streak of at least 3, so if you're coming off a streak of at least 3 road games, 3 games in a row, and you're a favorite, and the line is greater than 6.5, and you score less than 109 points, or you score more than 109 points, he says the Grizzlies are 3-0 in this spot. That's interesting. Appreciate you for sharing that, Tariq. He also goes on to say teams coming off of 3 losses, scoring 109 previous, are 72-10 since like 2008 or something. Okay, I got to look into that a little bit more, Tariq, but I appreciate you sharing that. What do you think about Marcus Smart threes? I would need to look at the number, Navi, and I would need to look and see how much he's shooting. I did see an interesting quote where he said, having Ja back, he doesn't have to, distribute as much. He can just everybody should be standing around, trying to catch the ball and being ready to shoot it. So I couldn't necessarily talk you off of that. Somebody's going to hit a bunch of threes tonight, Navi, that wears a Memphis Grizzlies jersey. I'm not sure who it's going to be, and I'm not going to try to figure it out. Let's see. Tariq says that Memphis ATS 0-11 is like all games without Ja in a playoff game versus the Lakers. Well, I'm glad you clarified that as well, Tariq. SoCal likes Jared Jackson Jr. over 19.5 points. He said it's 2 less than the season average. The Spurs have no answer for him at the power forward position and center. Memphis doesn't have a scoring center. 20+ for Jaren tonight. I can see Jaren having a big game as well. Cam says, "What's up, Chris? I'm on that Philly full game. I'm on Philly full game. I felt that during tip in my soul, by the way. Boy, it brought me to my knees yesterday. I was so heavy on Houston. I'm not even going to tell you how much money I had on Houston yesterday, but I was pretty invested on Houston yesterday. Let's not talk about it, man. Let's not talk about it. Let's see. Young Harlow says the same thing. Not that during tip hurt my soul. Laid all them players yesterday, and it was Rockets scored, and Durant had to grab the oop. Yep. Yeah, he blew the lay. I think it was K who missed a shot, man. Let's not talk about it. Real quick, last comment. Daniel says San Antonio 11-3 covering plus 3.5 in the first quarter versus teams who average game totals on the season is under 229. Okay. I saw some interesting stuff as well. I didn't mention it, but I saw some interesting stuff with San Antonio covering in some of these spots. It's like road dogs at 10 points, not covering the other spots. I couldn't get a good feel on it. Let's go to the next game. And I'm going to speed up just a tad bit. Celtics and Thunder is the next game. So this line actually opened with the Celtics laying 2 points. Then it went to 2.5. You see 3, you see 3.5. Now you see 4. Total continuing to go up to 239 is what it opened at, up to 240. It should be a good game, man. I honestly don't really have a strong feel on it. I think it's easy for me to make cases for both teams. You look at Boston, this team has been really, really good, of course. More so good at home than they were on the road. On the road, their ATS numbers are not as good as they are when they're at home. And this game actually doesn't have anybody on the injury report. I got Boston at 6-8-2 against the spread on the road. OKC has been money. We've been backing OKC. We backed them the other day, minus the 4 against Brooklyn. And of course, they lay a dud in the first half and don't cover that first half. But then they absolutely clean Brooklyn up in the third and fourth quarter. And we probably should have just played the full spread too. And we didn't. But OKC, 13-5 at the crib, straight up and against the spread. Both of these teams have been red hot. The Celtics, 9-2 in their last 10, 7-3 against the spread. OKC, 8-2 in their last 10, 8-2 against the spread. It's really difficult for me to want to lay 4 points for Boston. I could see Boston winning the game. I could see OKC covering this game. I could see OKC winning this game as well. I don't for the OGs, for the people who've been riding with me for like a year and a half. I always remember my plays because I'm really entrenched into this stuff, probably more than y'all think. But I remember January 3rd, 2023, a whole calendar year ago. OKC was playing Boston, and I was doing picks for one of those networks. I forgot which one I was doing them for, but it was like a little bit before we went on like the 10, 12, 13 picks in a row where I cashed all of them. And I took Boston team total over in this game. I took Boston first half. I think they were laying like 4.5 points in that spot, 5.5 points. And they got smoked, 150-117. And I thought that was the worst play I ever made. I'm not sure like why they don't play well against this team. They have not covered in the last 5 games. OKC typically gets a ton of points because they're typically not this good, but they've covered 5 in a row. So, it's a lot of different things and, ways I can kind of talk about the game. It's not the greatest spot for OKC because they are, having to travel after this game. They actually play in Atlanta tomorrow. That's one thing that makes me kind of look towards Boston a little bit. But when OKC gets these spots, and this is how I feel about the game, when OKC gets these spots against like step-up competition, that's when they typically play their best basketball. We saw them like 2 weeks ago, SGA game in Denver when he hit the game winner. They come home. They have a 5-game homestand. I want to say they won every game outside of the Laker game, which Anthony Davis called a must-win. Then they go back to OKC. Then they go back to Denver, and they beat Denver again and smashed Denver. And I know Denver is going through a little bit of turmoil. I'm not into fading Boston when they're fully healthy, and they are right now. Nobody's on the injury report, but I also don't want to fade OKC. So I said all that to say I don't have a strong look in this game. I do think this is the type of game where the defenses are being a little underrated. I know that the total has gone up to 240. Both of these teams can really, really score the ball, but Boston can play really, really good lockdown defense as well. OKC also can play really good lockdown defense. They actually held Brooklyn to 108 points. They held Denver to 93 points. So this is the type of game that I'll watch, and I will make a live play on it. It'll probably be an under, especially if a lot of scoring is done early, and I can get this total up to about 250. The defense typically picks up. First quarter, typically the highest scoring quarter in the NBA. The second highest scoring quarter in the NBA. I'm sorry, the first quarter is typically one of the lower scoring quarters because you got to get into your groove. The second and third quarter typically are high scoring, and then the fourth quarter things kind of pan out a little bit. Players run out of energy. Offense starts to run a little bit slower. So that's the way I'm kind of looking at this game. I don't have a strong play on any of it. And I got 25 comments. I'm not gonna be able to go through all of them, but let me see what y'all are saying about it. Let's see. Marcus Smart dealing with a hand injury, so be careful with those threes, Kalan says. Tariq says, can you add to your SDQL if other teams are also lost by 30 in the previous game? They both get blown out. I can add that, Tariq. I don't know what's gonna come up, but I'll look into it. Let's see. Locked and Loaded says he likes the Celtics -3. One and only play of the day. Can't really break the game down too much because both teams are good, but we'll all notice the difference between good and great tonight is levels. Okay. So we got some Celtics love. Could not be mad at you at all on that. Let's see. Avery says he likes Boston -4 here. He says he gets that OKC is playing great basketball right now, and that's exciting for the organization. But this is classic levels spot here. He says I'm getting the best defensive backcourt in the league with Derek White and Drew Holiday. They only make things tough for SGA. It's not going to be easy for him tonight. I could agree with that. David says Celtics and Thunder have 126 to 122 game last year with SGA getting 37. Wondering if they could be a deja vu moment. We could see. Avery says the Celtics playing better basketball on the road right now as well. Revenge spot for the C's when they last time you see somebody put up 150 points on the C's. Yes, it was a year ago. Yeah, I vividly remember that. I was on the Celtics in that spot. I gave it out in a video. A minute video was on the Celtics -4.5. Thought that they would breeze in this spot last year. Avery says, I'm pretty sure they remember that. This is a Celtics focus spot. Markel says, I'm off this game. I like both teams. Sit back and watch. I'm right there with you. Let's see. Avery says KP will run at Chet this game. Same body frame, same quickness. The Thunder goes as SGA and Chet goes, and I can see the Celtics daring other players to beat them. Well, if they dare Jalen Williams to beat him, he can definitely beat him, Avery. He can definitely beat him. We'll see. I'm interested. I will be watching this game from start to finish. Raptors fans says he leaning Porzingis over his 8.5 rebounds at +108 on FanDuel. Sit the line 4 of his last 5 games. And the Thunder are bottom in the league in rebounds allowed per game. I would agree with this, Raptors fan. I think Porzingis should get a double-double in this spot for sure. Let's see. What else I got? What else? Let's go through a couple more. Fahrenheit likes Tatum. He says he's going to fry. Navi says Chet rebounds and Derek White threes. Tasha says I took Boston. One team I can't bet against. Yeah, I'm not at full strength. I'm not betting against Boston either. I will say this. I wanted Boston in the first half, but we've been betting OKC in the first half, and they've really done a good job. Boston is the best first half team in the league. If you go through and look at the numbers, on the road, at home, this team is just really solid. If they're locked in and focused, I could, seeing it being a really good, really good game. We'll see how it goes. OKC's not rolling over for anybody, though. I'll tell you that. Brian says Thunder with the points in his pocket, loves this team. Coop says a little scary fading OKC at home, but taking Boston -2 in the first half. Boston got smoked a year ago in OKC without SGA. I think that will be in the back of their minds. This is my first thought process when I saw the game was in OKC when I looked at this last night. DFS says don't like Boston on the road. OKC a lot of fish to Boston. 2. Tasha says I took Boston first half -1.5 and 2.5 earlier. Last comment. Keith says, 2 more. Keith says Happy New Year's, everyone. Last year, 2 players recorded a triple-double on New Year's. Yesterday, we saw the same thing. 1 calendar year ago today, we saw 5 40-point games, including Donovan Mitchell's 71-point game. What do we bring today? I got to look into the players that's in the matchups. I want to answer this, though, Keith. Young Harlow says, Keith says he likes Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Ja, and Embiid all over their points line. Okay. Young Harlow says OKC team total over 118. Like it? No, I don't. That's just my opinion. You don't got to take my opinion. I think it could be more of a defensive game where both of these teams finish about 116 to 117 ish, 116 to 115 ish. 118 to 1. I think it's a little too close for comfort, in my opinion, Young Harlow. Celtics are a really good defensive team. People don't understand this about OKC. They're also a really good defensive team. I think it's a defensive type game. That's just my opinion. All right, let's keep going. Next game, we got Nets and we got Pelicans. So Nets have been absolutely trashed. I know Dorian Finney-Smith was listed as questionable, and I want to say on the Pelicans side, Trey Murphy is also listed as questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to play in this game. Right now, I see him as toss up to play. So his status is, kind of unknown. Brooklyn, they've been bad, man. They're 7-9 against the spread on the road, but that's actually taking a bad turn. They're just 1-9 in their last 10 games. It's also a first leg of a back-to-back. They got Houston tomorrow on deck. And Houston, trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth after losing 3 straight. Did a good job of beating Detroit, but I know Udoka's not going to be satisfied with just that win. So really bad travel spot here for Brooklyn. Also a really bad travel spot tomorrow for Brooklyn, in my opinion. Looking at this game, I was looking at the Pelicans. We cashed on the Pelicans the other day. We took them first half full game against the Lakers. Really bad spot for the Lakers in that game and the in-season tournament revenge after they were embarrassed. Can they continue that? One thing, that was a couple of things that I looked at. The Pelicans, this is in my estimation, I know that they got a game tomorrow. They actually got to go to Minnesota. They beat Minnesota already early this season, but I know that they're going to probably want to get up for that game against Minnesota again in Minnesota. This is not necessarily the greatest spot. I think it's a better spot, in my opinion, for the Pelicans than it is for the Nets. The Nets, third straight road game. Tomorrow will be a fourth straight road game. Like I said, first leg of a back-to-back. They've lost 3, but they've also failed to cover 4 in a row. You look at this Pelicans team, while they haven't necessarily been covering, we know we get in and get out with the Pelicans because they are the worst second-half team in the league, it feels like. But I do think that they can roll over some of that success for the Lakers. You don't necessarily want them to have a letdown in this spot, and of course that's something that can happen. A lot of the times when I talk about the Pelicans, I talk about them in non-conference games versus conference games. This team does not play well against non-conference opponents. It feels like when they're playing somebody that's an Eastern Conference team, they just kind of take their foot off the gas. They don't play as hard. They did beat Cleveland in Cleveland, but outside of that, I mean, they didn't cover against Charlotte. I remember that game on December 15th. So being at home, not having to travel, it's their 5th straight home game. Like I said, they do pack up and go on the road tomorrow in Minnesota, where they have 3 straight conference opponents, all playoff conference opponents, in the Timberwolves, the Clippers, and the Kings. To me, it does kind of feel like if you want the Pelicans, you want to play them early. First half should be like 2.5, 3. I think that they're, winning. Brooklyn has really, really struggled. The other thing I think to take into consideration for this game is when you think about Brooklyn, this is how I kind of looked at the game. Brooklyn, what do they want to do? They want to shoot a bunch of threes. That's really all they want to do. Nicholas Claxton not going down there trying to big boy anybody, get a lot of buckets. Looking at this Brooklyn team, they shoot the 11th most threes in the league, and they make the 8th most threes in the league. They only shoot 37% from the 3-point line, which is actually top 10. They're 9th. But if I'm going through and I'm looking at the Pelicans, specifically their 3-point defense, the Pelicans are, I want to say, one of the better 3-point defenses in the league. So they're 17th. They're allowing teams to make 13, but teams are only making 33% of their threes, which puts the Pelicans as a top 5. They're actually number 14 against the 3-point line. That doesn't bode well, in my estimation, if you get a fired-up Pelicans team for the Brooklyn Nets, because that's what they want to do. They just want to shoot a bunch of threes. The Pelicans can defend the 3-point line, pretty well. And I want to say, let me just check one more thing real quick. I want to say in home games, the Pelicans 3-point defense is actually even better. Let me check real quick. So at the crib, the Pelicans are allowing 12.6. So it doesn't change too much. They're right out of the top 10 at number 13. But their 3-point percentage allowed actually gets better. They're actually the number 3 defensive team against the 3-point line at the crib. So that doesn't bode well for Brooklyn. If I had to play the game, it'd be Nets early in this game. Those are my thoughts on this one. I didn't play, like I said, I didn't play that either. Let's see. Thoughts on Pelicans first half is what Raptors fan. Yeah, that's the way I would look at it, Raptors fan. I think it's definitely a Pels first half spot. Brooklyn got to eventually get it together. I'm just not sure when it's going to be. I don't necessarily like fading desperate teams every single game because typically that's when they come out and they play a pretty good game. I think the Knicks yesterday were another desperate team. They had lost 3 straight road games. They come home and they get a win against a much better team. You're not going to tell me that the Timberwolves not better than them, but they were able to lock the Timberwolves up. Nobody was able to score until McClellan came into the game. McLaughlin came into the game in the second half and kind of brought the team back. Grind for Greatest says, why do you believe in revenge games? You don't think teams want to win every game? This is a good question, Grind for Greater. So just a little tidbit real quick. If somebody beats you in anything, Uno, Tonk, Mama, I declare war, rock, paper, scissors, tic-tac-toe, don't when you win, don't you typically like let your foot up off the gas? These are human beings. So, they're not going to win every single game. You're not going to beat the same team over and over and over again. You got to remember the NBA is comprised of the top 350 to 400 athletes, the most competitive ones at that. So you're not going to want to keep losing over and over and over again. Just one of the factors that kind of go into the games. I don't cap everything off revenge, but I do think it's something to take into consideration. I'll tell you this. If you didn't think the Pelicans were looking for revenge in their last game against the Lakers the other day, you might want to take it into ChrisBeCappinn because they talked about it after the game. Brandon Ingram was still trying to score when it was up 15 with like 16 seconds left. Like they just really hate the Lakers now. And it makes perfect sense. Zion actually came out and said it was a blessing in disguise as well. So just wanted to kind of elaborate on that a little bit. Smooth says Pelicans have won the first half in each of their last 13 games. Could definitely be a spot there. He says my team, the Magic, burst Boston up last year repeatedly. They did. I don't think they had as much hype as they have now, Ground for Greater. And you see what they did to you out of last game? 2 games in a row. They said, okay, Magic, we got something for y'all. And smacked y'all up 2 games in a row, kind of put y'all in y'all place. So just kind of taking that into consideration. Markel says, so should we go Pels first half? I would agree there. David says he likes Fox, Embiid, Tatum, Morant, Curry, all to max out their points. $1 to win $11K. Best of luck there, my guy. Tasha says Pelicans don't cover. When I select them, you got to take them first half. They will never cover a full game unless they're playing against the Lakers the other day. All right, cool. We got to keep going. Let's keep going. I'll try to get back to the rest of the comments. We got a couple more games to get through. So next game up, 2 more games. We got Hornets and we got Kings. This is a nasty game. Kind of talked about this one yesterday. Kings have actually responded well. I think that's the first and foremost thing I want to say. They're 11-5 at the crib, 8-8 against the spread at home. They kind of picked it up. I didn't really know who this team was, a couple games ago. They don't have anybody on the injury report. Rozier didn't play yesterday. This is the second leg of a back-to-back for the Hornets, of course. Rozier didn't play in that game yesterday. He's listed as probable today. You're still going to be without, Mark Williams is listed out, and Gordon Hayward is also listed out for this game. The Kings took my money the other day when I had Memphis on the money line. They were 1-point dogs in that game. They won that game and actually smashed Memphis. Like I said, 123-92. They also beat Atlanta. And this is all coming off a loss, a 17-point loss to the Portland Trailblazers, laying 8.5 points. Absolutely gross. The defense has really stepped it up. Memphis has actually been a team that could score the ball, but they were held to 92 points in that last game. And then you hold Atlanta. I think it was pretty impressive, not to just beat Atlanta, but to hold Atlanta to 110 points. Atlanta typically loses because they give up 130, 125. But to only score 117, I probably would have thought that they would have lost that game. So back-to-back wins. This is the first leg of a back-to-back. They host the Orlando Magic tomorrow, and they're coming back home off a 3-game road trip. So I can't lay 15 with Charlotte. It should be a spot where, they just kind of run. I've come on the show before and talked about how Mike Brown always wants to run teams when he knows that they're getting a matchup against a team that's playing on the second leg of a back-to-back. So we go in and just kind of look at that specifically. If we just look at the Kings catching an opponent on the second leg of a back-to-back, they are 4-2 straight up. just 3-3 against the spread, but those games are going a lot of points. 123 is what the Kings are averaging. And they have failed to cover the last 3 games, though. It was against the Wizards. They were laying 14. They won that game by 12. Against the Celtics, they got smoked in that spot. And you would hope that they don't come home and let their hair down if you want to back them. I'm not laying 15.5 at all, but just kind of giving you guys some numbers. Then they also lost to the Clippers outright in that spot when they were on no rest as well. Lost that game by when they were playing a team on no rest. This is the reason why, though, you can't necessarily, for me, if you want Charlotte, you kind of got to get in and get out. Charlotte is, and I talked about this yesterday, really, really bad spot. 5th straight road game of a 6-game road trip. They actually play in Chicago. They'll come back to the East Coast and play on Friday. Yeah, on Friday. 2nd leg of a back-to-back. Also, 5th game in 7 nights. This team just played the day after Christmas. They played 2 days after that against the Lakers, a game after that, and now you're catching them. They had 2 days off, and now you're catching them on the 2nd leg of a back-to-back again. This should be a spot where Sacramento can kind of name whatever total it is that they want. I kind of like Sacramento team total over early, just to kind of stay away from the full number with them having a game tomorrow. They do get Orlando tomorrow, so it's another non-conference opponent. I think they probably care a little bit more about the game tomorrow than they do today. So I like Sacramento early in this spot. I think, if Charlotte's going to run out of gas, it makes more sense that they run out in the second half, which is what they did yesterday against Denver. They actually were I think, like down by 1 or like tied or something like that at halftime with Denver. Then they absolutely get smoked and score like 2 points in the first 8 minutes of that game of the third quarter last night in Denver. I think Sacramento can score early in this spot. Whatever their team total is in the first half is what I kind of like, just because you don't know how many minutes these starters are going to have to play throughout the entirety of this game. Also, with a big spread like 15, it wouldn't surprise me if Charlotte was able to get a backdoor cover. We just saw Charlotte cover against the Clippers, and the Clippers are a better team than the Kings. We also saw them cover against the Phoenix Suns. They were catching 15.5 points in that spot, and they end up losing that game by 14. So those are my thoughts on the game. I'm definitely not playing. I know for sure I'm not playing this game, but I just want to kind of give you guys my insight. And then we'll get to the next game real quick. Let's see. Estes says, sorry, sir. As delegate of the Miami Heat, I will have to say Miami is the worst second half team. Yeah, Miami is really, really bad in the second half. I'm not sure why it's that. Why do y'all spend so much energy being a good first half team and then get smoked? Y'all covered the first quarter last night too. I was looking at that like, yep, probably should have took them. I talked about that too, especially when y'all road dogs. Y'all always cover the first quarter, and then things just kind of tail off. Let's see. David says, come on, community. I know somebody got $6 trying to get people to join. Hey, I appreciate that, David. Let's see. Any more spot? Raven likes the Thunder +4. Let's see. Shadow says he likes Sabonis rebounds plus assists here. Cannot talk you off of that. He had a massive triple-double the other day against Memphis. I want to say he got the triple-double. He had a double-double in the first quarter, I want to say. Sabonis been killing. Without no Mark Williams, I mean, you literally only got Nick Richards down there. What you coop here, he says they were laying him too many points. Daniel says, no way we regret Twitter requests before we get to Twitter requests before 6. Chris trying to change in 2024. Nah, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there in a second. We only got one game, and I don't really like that game either, but I'll break it down for you guys and let you guys know I'm looking at it. Let's see. David says 209 people watching, 62 likes, no new members. It's 2024. Pimping ain't easy. My guy, hey, David be looking out for me, man. Mike Brown reminds me of my high school coach. Man, y'all not talking about the game, man. Let me see. Let's see. Cat reacts, says he likes the team total. He says the Kings first half team total 62.5. I like this, Cat. I think you are going to try to run this team, and I do think you should be able to, get whatever it is that you want. Sacramento at home typically scores a lot of points, and I would kind of refer to them scoring them early as well. Looking at the Kings against unrested opponents, they're scoring 64 points in the first half. Now you get a Charlotte team on the second leg of a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights, and a fifth game in 8 nights. I think that they can score in this spot. They also give it up, though. They give up 62 points in the first half. So this could be a first half over, second half under type game. I think if I had a top play, it would be Kings team total over in the first half. I think they're gonna make. I know Charlotte does not play at a fast pace, which is why they struggle to score. But I think that they're gonna make Charlotte play a little bit faster tonight. I like that team total over. And that would be my top look in this spot. Hobby likes Keegan Murray ladder for his threes. I couldn't talk you off of this one either. Mike says, sorry, I missed the game, but when you have a second, thoughts on Kobe White points prop? Yeah, Kobe White's going to take all the shots, man. Him and DeRozan, like who else is really out there to score? It's just really just those two guys. I mean, you got Ayo DeSumo, you got Patrick Williams, but it's not a lot of options out there to score the ball. So I think Kobe White props should be good. Most bets I will put in on a parlay, Elroy, is probably 2. Sometimes I have trouble getting one thing right, so I'm definitely not trying to put a whole bunch of things together. And I just don't like getting into a habit of losing, which is why I don't like taking a lot of long shots. I like to scroll through and see a whole bunch of wins. I don't like to me it just feels like I'm overworking my brain trying to put in a whole bunch of plays. So I don't really parlay too many things together. Every now and then, yeah, but not a lot at all. Embiid over 11.5 points in the first quarter. That's the number is a high number, but I can see it though, Tramel. Not anything that I'm on. And then last one before we get to the last game, DJ Prop says Brandon Miller will score a season high tonight in points. Nobody on the Kings will guard him. Nobody on the wing to guard him for the Kings, and I could definitely see that as well. DJ, he's been balling. Kush makes a good point. I forgot all about this. He says Malik Monk over his points against his old team. If he's motivated, Malik Monk can score whatever he wants to on this team. He absolutely can. They have nobody that can check Malik Monk. If he wants to get going, especially on the first leg of a back-to-back too, Coach Brown could put him in with that second unit and let them kind of ride out the second half. Monk can get 20 tonight. Would not sleep on Monk at all. And Daniel says De'Aaron Fox double-double at plus 600 and taking his 8 assists at plus 280. Could not talk you off of either one of those either, Dane. Last game. Let's get to the last game. So we got Magic and we got Warriors. The Warriors are 3-point favorites tonight. Really interesting that they are. Well, I think, the books may be like me just a tad bit from the standpoint. This line did open at 3.5. You see it come down to 3. Total in this one opened at 232, and it's all the way down to 229.5 at most books. And I would agree with the under coming in. Orlando, they match up really well with this team. They won 3 straight games in a row against Golden State, dating back to last season. And they were catching points in all of those games. And now, they were catching 6.5, 9.5, 7.5. Now you see them catching 3 on the road. This is the problem I have with this game because I really want to take Orlando in this spot. I think Orlando is a road dog, non-conference opponent. This is when they typically play, really good basketball. They do have a game tomorrow. Orlando does. They play in Sacramento, like we just kind of talked about. Tonight will be the second game of a 4-game road trip, and they got Denver on Friday. So I think Orlando right now, current form, I think they're a better team. This Golden State team to me is just I'm not sure. Like Kerr has talked about calling the guys out. I feel like they've tried everything. They tried Steph at point guard, Steph at center. Now they got Trace Jackson in, and before you know it, they're gonna be trying to call somebody from that's tuning into the show right now. I just don't think Golden State got it right now, and that's me watching. I saw Luka kill him the other day. They also lost to the Miami Heat, lost to Denver. I know they had a couple days off, and they could potentially get right in this spot. I never really want to bet against Steph. He is the best clutch player in the NBA right now, and Orlando really struggles against guards. We know that as well. But I don't like the spot for Orlando just because while it is their second game on the road, on the West Coast, it feels like a spot where they could potentially run out of gas. I think if you like Orlando, you like them early. I think that's the best look. Orlando, we know that they've been a really good first half team. I just can't. I don't feel like I can trust Golden State. And also Orlando, they've been kind of struggling too with injuries. I like Jonathan Isaac. He's not playing tonight. I like Joe Ingles. He still remains out. But so this is just a really, really difficult game. I do think the spread is close because Orlando can win this game, though. I'll tell you guys that. And I'm not just going to, sit on here and keep talking about it. I just don't. It's not a lot for me to, necessarily like in this spot. off 3 straight losses. Golden State should bounce back. But if Orlando's also off a loss, and they played Phoenix tough in that game. I was watching that game, battled all the way back, held Phoenix to 112 points. If they can hold Phoenix to 112 points, and Phoenix was at full strength in that game, I definitely think that the under is probably in place in this game because Orlando can struggle to score as well. So under 229.5, I think it's probably my best look in this game. Or maybe Golden State under their team total. Orlando is a physical team that likes to slow the game down. They don't play with a lot of pace. So I think I agree with the total coming down from 232 down to 229.5. My best bet would probably be in this game would probably be the under. Let's see what y'all saying here. And then I will take a couple Twitter requests as well. So if you got anything, shoot me a request and we will keep it moving. Ain't that Devin says Franz Wagner, 5.5 rebounds. How you feel about that? I know he's been rebounding the ball well. Devin, I haven't been looked at the numbers. I'm not locked in as much on Franz Wagner, but I couldn't talk you off. I don't have a strong opinion on it either way. So don't let me sway you one way or another. I would need to do a lot more deep digging, looking at his number. Coop says he likes Trace Jackson Davis, PRA. He likes his over 20.5. He says when he plays over 19 minutes, he goes over this prop at home. Steve Kerr's going with the hot hand approach with the rotation, but he has a great point rebound chemistry with CP3. Like his chances. I couldn't talk you off of this. So I think CP3's been in the starting lineup now, and I think this is only the second game. So CP3 at the point, Steph moving off ball to 2. Then you got Clay at the 3, and who's playing the 4? Kuminga, and then Trace Jackson at the 5. I mean, I feel like Steve Kerr's tried every single lineup, and it's not because of injury; it's because they just suck. And it's really, it's weird to say that the Golden State Warriors suck so bad, but this team is 15-16 and 14-17 against the spread, whereas Orlando is 22-10 against the spread. So. Also, Golden State just doesn't play their best brand of basketball at home for whatever reason. They typically used to, but now it seems like they struggle a lot more at home. Last year they couldn't win a game on the road. This year they're just 9-8 at home, 5-11-1 against the spread at home. So I'm not sure, man. David says trust your gut. This is an Orlando spot. Paulo will set the tone. Franz is getting hot. TJD will have a day. I think it's Orlando spot. Like I said, didn't play it. Locked and Loaded says Warriors are stay away for the rest of the year, at least until they get Draymond back and get a couple games underneath their skin, underneath their feet. I think I might regret not playing Orlando tonight, especially in the first half. But we'll see. David says lesser of two evils is to beat OKC and get smoked by Sacramento. I don't know. Orlando's a feisty team. They're not going to win both of these games for sure. But you're right, though. You probably want to get one of these games, and you're going to have a lot better chance of beating Golden State tonight than Sacramento with no rest. So that makes a lot of sense, David. Take Orlando tonight, probably fade them tomorrow. Prop says Warriors bench looks like a G League squad. Can't trust them. I agree. S-Dot says Orlando first half is what I said. Go Young DJ says Franz Wagner points line has been disrespectfully low. He's been cashing. Graham for Greatest says the Magic suck at guarding the 3. Curry should have a great night. Curry not going to guarding the 3-point line. Okay. Mitch says, Chris, I think the players on Memphis that is going to hit that line is Luke Kennard over 2.5 threes. Ladder potential. I would agree with this, Mitch. I would agree. But if I take Luke Kennard, he'll shoot 1 for 12 tonight. So I'm and all of them will be wide open too. So this is why I kind of stayed off props. But Luke Kennard is in a very, very advantageous matchup tonight. And like I say, I saw him hit 3 to 4. I don't know how many he hit in that last game, but first game back, Luke Kennard looked like he was locked all the way in. All the way in. Now I love this line for him tonight, Mitch. I'll let you have it. I'll stay off of it. How do you think Wemby does against Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight? I'm not sure. I know Jaren Jackson Jr. is soft though, so I wouldn't bet on Jaren Jackson Jr. to go down there and think he's gonna score a lot of points in the paint. He's probably gonna shoot a bunch of threes. Marcus says Golden State too old and slow. Clay not playing at his best, hurting the team's offense. Orlando on fire right now. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say on fire. Orlando is not necessarily on fire. They've actually regressed a little bit. They're 19-13 on the season after starting the season off really, really hot. They've actually lost 2 of their last 3 and only beat the Knicks. And I think the Knicks were on the second leg of a The Knicks, were the Knicks on the second leg? I can't remember, but they have lost 2 of their last 3. They lost to Philly, got smoked by 20, and then lost to Phoenix as well. Let's see. Really like the under in this spot. Feel like Orlando can slow Golden State down. I agree. This is where I agree. It's a tough under to take, but if Orlando's going to keep this game within 3, in my eyes, they're going to do it with their defense, not necessarily with their offense. They're not a high-scoring offensive team. Under in this game, I might end up getting there with the under. I like this look a lot as well. Wemby double-double. This is the thing about Wemby double-double, John, and I'm done. I'm going to get the speakers up. We're going to get Great White up. Anybody else got anything they want to share? Just send me a request. I'll try to get a couple people up. But this is what I'll say real quick about Wemby double-double. You really got to watch how many minutes Greg Popovich is playing Wemby. Victor Wembanyama is not playing a lot of minutes for Pop. He's coming back off the injury. He played the first game against Portland, didn't play the second one, and his minutes have kind of fluctuated. He's really, really good. Can't talk anybody off of, like playing him one way or another, no matter how you like him. But Wemby is he only played 24 minutes in the loss against Boston, only played 24 minutes against Portland. He just doesn't play like a lot of minutes. He hasn't played 30 minutes in the last 4 games. I'm just looking at his box score right now. In 4 games ago, 5 games since he's played at least 30 minutes. 5 games ago was the last time he actually got a double-double. So if he plays over, then potentially he could get a double-double because Portland Memphis has given up the most rebounds in the last 2 games to opposing big men. They got killed by Zubac, and then they also got killed by Sabonis. So I couldn't necessarily talk you off of that. If you think he's going to get the minutes, John. That guy says Wemby doesn't rebound as well as you think. It's more of a positioning thing. Former defensive player of the year, soft. That's steep. When I say soft, man, I wasn't meaning like defensively soft. I meant like offensively. He's not going to go down there and score a lot of points in the paint. Is what I was saying. Jared Jackson Jr. has some finesse to his game. He's not really dunking on nobody that frequently. Like Ja Morant catching more posters and more bodies than he is what I mean, man. Defensively, yeah, absolutely. Especially at home, where they're not going to cause many fouls either. So, all right, let's see. Let's go finesse. See if I can get Great White back up. See if I can get Dream up as well. They probably got some official plays for y'all because I haven't played anything yet. Finesse, talk to me. Happy New Year, my brother. How you doing?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How you?
Good, bro. New Year, was
Yeah, right. Hey, I was in front of Club Computer, bro. I was trying to cap the games.
So, yeah, I mean, short slate, I'm trying to keep it, real tight pulls. And, I play so much, but I'm trying to play what I love. So, starting that Pelicans game, I got a couple things. CJ McCollum over 8.5 rebounds and assists. I got at -104. Might have moved. Really like that 8.5. Don't like it as much as that 9.5. If it moved to 9.5, the man loves to end right on 9 rebounds and assists. Coming off a 14 already game, he's cleared this 8.5 number 6 his last 9 games, 8 of 12 home games, and 7 of 8 home wins this year. Obviously, the Pelicans are -7. Averaging 8 rebound chances, 8 potential assists per game last 5. If those numbers hold true tonight, we only have to convert around 55% of those total opportunities, which is very doable. He's converting right around 62% of his total chances over the last 10 games, so I think enough cushion there. Cleared this in both games versus Brooklyn as a Pelican and 4 his last 5 versus Brooklyn overall. And once again, Brooklyn is a favorable matchup. Bottom 5 in rebounds allowed and assists per game allowed over the last 7 games. And we've seen point guards be able to clear this number. SGA, 10 RA, Tyus Jones, 10 RA. Cunningham played them back-to-back games, 14 and 9 PRA, and then Jamal Murray, 14 RA. So, yeah, like CJ to kind of do it all, a little bit of scoring, fill up the stat sheet. Staying in the Pelicans game, so I want to make sure I get these numbers right. So I'm on Pelicans double result. It's available as double result on some books. I took it on PointsBet -115. I think it's listed as double result on Caesars as well. But some books like FanDuel, you might have to just build it out yourself. So Pelicans, 26-7 straight up in the first half this year. 16-2 straight up in the first half at home, which is absolutely astounding. In the first half, they're 8th in offensive rating last 10 games and 1st in defensive rating last 10 games by far. The defensive rating is like 97. Next best is like 107. So they're absolutely locking teams down in the first half, especially at home. So I love that. They're also a decent third quarter team, and I think that's the kind of the pattern of this game. I think defense. I think the Pelicans are going to play a lot more consistent defense, especially late in the game. So I expect them to get out to a first half lead, control the third quarter, and obviously, win the game after controlling the first 3 quarters. So they've been amazing in the first half. They don't necessarily want to target a spread, take a -2.5, -3.5. So I like the value on a double result. We've cashed that a couple times this year. So love the Pelicans tonight. What else? So I'm playing. So I like both of these guys a lot. I couldn't really decide. So I just decided to do this. Chet Holmgren and Klay Thompson, 14+ points each. That's -110 on FanDuel. I think it's a good spot for both of them. Obviously, Klay is going to be the more controversial of these two. He's been very, very bad. But as poor as he's been shooting, he's still getting volume. Decent matchup on paper, not the best, but the volume is what's key. So he's going to chuck him up. Regular line is 15.5 points. I like the 14+. Like I said, like both guys a lot. Just couldn't really choose between the two. Haven't gotten all the way there yet. I haven't put in a bet yet, but I like Chris Paul under 11.5 points. I won't go too deep into that. I haven't made it official yet. What else we got? So I like a little builder. Trying to keep these to like 3 legs. So we got Philly money line, Cam Johnson 2+ threes, and John Morant 20+ points. That's -125 on FanDuel. Really, really like all 3 of those legs. Won't go too deep into that. And then I think my man Dream is up next, so I gotta do it right. New year, same me. Blunt money bets, lotto, fucking moonshot. We playing around with some doubles. So Tyrese Maxey, John Morant, Nick Claxton, and Trey Jackson Davis, all for a double. So I played the parlay straight, those 4 legs. It's like 150 to 1, but I also round robin by 2 and by 3. Hopefully we catch 2 of them, make some profit. Tyrese Maxey and TJD are like +400, +450. So like those odds there. So yeah, hopefully we catch like 2 legs of those. But I know I said a lot. I'll just recap real quick. McCollum over 8.5 rebounds and assists. The little builder, the double, double result for the Pelicans. Chet Holmgren and Klay 14+ points, and Chris Paul under 11.5 points. I appreciate you. I know I was long-winded, my bad, bro, but appreciate you. Let's cash. Good luck to everybody.
Absolutely, Finesse. Now I like the breakdowns, man. I think people want to hear them as well. So salute to Finesse for coming on, dropping his card. Yeah, definitely check out my guy Finesse over there in the Gold Boys Discord. And appreciate you again, Finesse, for coming on and dropping some official plays for us, man. I like these looks a lot. CP3 under the 11.5, I think is a really good look, just because he probably won't be shooting the ball. And I'm pretty sure that's part of your handicap for that one as well, even though you didn't go official with that as well, Finesse. And Klay the volume gonna be there for Klay as well. So I like those looks a lot. I think you definitely found the safer way to play the Pelicans, and that makes a lot of sense too. So shout out to Finesse, man. Let's go Dream, and then go Great White. What's up, Dream?
Yeah, what's the vibes, my guy? Go to Great White first for me.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Let's go Great White. What's up, Great White?
Yo, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Glad to be back. Wanted to take a little bit of a break, but I'm back with some vengeance, bro.
Nothing wrong with that, my boy. Nothing wrong with that at all. What you liking for today? Talk to me.
All right, so first one, you spoke about earlier. I'm going to be going the other way on the Celtics and Thunder game. I actually really like the Thunder today. Reasons why, the numbers pretty much tell me to take the Thunder. I know the Thunder blew out the Celtics last year, but there was no SGA, so I kind of threw that one out the window. But the Celtics on the road this year, against the spread, they're 6-9-1, depending on the closing number that you got. But I got 6-9-1 on them. And the Thunder at home, they're 13-5-1 against the spread. Also, when they get 2 to 3 days rest, the Thunder are 11-7. Boston is going to be 7-8 against the spread, and that's with them with equal rest. They both got 2 days of rest. and also when it's 2 to 3 days of rest, 5, 3, and 1 to OKC, and Boston is at 3 and 5. So I gave out Thunder +5 earlier on the day when it was at that number. I know it's dropped a little bit, but I honestly think the Thunder could win this game outright. I know they got Minnesota. I believe it's Minnesota on the road tomorrow. But I think
Atlanta. They got Atlanta tomorrow on the road. I agree with.
What?
They got Atlanta tomorrow on the road.
Okay, yeah, they got I don't think they're gonna care that much about that game. They're gonna want this one again. Everybody's talking about the Thunder, being a legit team, and if they really want to be taken seriously, this is one of those games where they got to show up. So I think that's what they're gonna do today.
Okay.
And then my final one is gonna be Joel Embiid. The big guy's back. Over 51.5 PRA for 1 unit. I got that at -125 earlier. Embiid in his last 10 games, he's hit this at 7 out of the 10 games, and the 3 that he's missed. Check this out. He had 51 versus Washington. He only played 29 minutes. Then he had another one versus Detroit where he got to 50 and he only played 29 minutes. And the last game that he played was versus Toronto. He played 34 minutes. He got 50. Pretty much a basket, rebound, and assist away from all of them. I know he got Drummond tonight. Drummond, he's slow. He's going to get – I strongly feel that he's going to get Drummond into some foul trouble. And once Drummond's out, Chicago really doesn't have anybody else behind Drummond to guard Embiid. So I think this is going to be a monster night for Embiid tonight. So I saw the 51.5 PRA. I had to jump on it. Almost made it a 2 unit, but I was like, you know what? It's a problem. Let me keep it as a 1 unit. So those are my 2 VIP plays that I'm giving out on the show, my brother.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate you, Great White. Best of luck, man. I hope you cash them.
Yes, sir.
Hope you cash them. Let's go, Dream. Dream, you ready?
Yes, sir, man. What's the vibe?
What up, bro? How you, man?
Can't complain, man. I was popping in as much as I could. Your holiday streams, they was a little earlier than normal.
Yeah. I was trying to get them joints, just get the content out a little earlier for the people, but it's all good. I appreciate the love as always. What we liking for today, Dream? Talk to me.
I'm gonna give out I got a straight bet for a unit, and I got a blow money bet. I got a couple more on the page, but I just literally put one in. So as far as the straight bet, it's a 2-legger. It's SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 2 steals, and Derek White 1 block. It's a -115 on DraftKings, like a -122 on FanDuel. Shop around. Basically, SGA, I didn't know he led the league in steals until I got put onto this trend like 4 games ago. I was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. I saw that too.
Yeah, SGA had 2 steals in 12 straight games before last game not having any. So love that. Get back on that. Get 2 steals, and Derek White, same thing with blocks. He's the best shot blocking guard in the league. But he had 2 blocks in 7 straight games before last game, and he has 1 block in 11 of his last 13 games. So basically playing in percentages with, I guess, 2 of the best defenders in the league. I never thought I'd say that about SGA, but it is what it is. Playing in percentages with them. So yeah, put a unit on it. Really, really, really love it. As far as a blunt money bet, we're going to do a round robin 3s and 4s on FanDuel. Kobe White, 7 rebounds from the Bulls. He had 8 and 9 rebounds. Low-key, a really good rebounder for a guard, but he had 8 and 9 rebounds already this year versus Philly. So shit, do it again. Derek White, 2 blocks. I just spoke about his 2 blocks. He was on a nice little streak. 2 blocks in 7 straight games before last game, and that was a blowout last game too. So, and in that streak, he had 3 blocks a bunch of times too for the score. So it's not like he's just struggling to get 2. Nah, somebody get 3 blocks. So Derek White, 2 blocks. What else I do? Oh, Malik Monk, 7 assists. Malik Monk averages, I think, 5 assists for the season. Either way it goes, I know he got 5 assists in 9 of his last 10 games. A bunch of people going to be on his points, couldn't talk you off, but maybe he tries to get a triple-double or double-double tonight. Who knows? And he can get whatever he wants tonight for Charlotte. If he wants 10 assists, he can get it. If he wants 30 points, 25, he can get it. So we'll see. Malik Monk, 7 assists. And Brandon with an I. Brandon Podziemski, I think is how you say his name.
Podziemski.
Okay. Yeah. From Golden State, the rookie. Even though he's coming off the bench, he's still getting about 26 to 29 minutes. I played his 12 rebounds plus assists. He's got 12 rebounds plus assists in 4 of his last 5. I think the base is like 8.5, 9.5. I don't know. But yeah, did his over 11.5 rebounds plus assists. He's covered this 4 of his last 5 games when he's played 29 plus minutes, and he's been playing 29 minutes lately. So, again, just to run that back, round robin 3s and 4s. I don't know, shit, probably plus 8,000, plus 10,000. You put them all together. But round robin 3s and 4s. Kobe White 7 rebounds, Derek White 2 blocks, Malik Monk 7 assists, and Podziemski, or whatever. 12 rebounds and assists. Round robin 3s and 4s. Appreciate it, my boy.
Absolutely, James. Hey, same. But somebody on the stream actually had to tell me how to say his name too.
Hold on, real quick. I was like coming in off and all this shit. Jaren Jackson Jr. tall. Who in the comments was trying to act funny? Nigga, I don't care if he won 10 defensive players a year. He's tall. He's off his cake. He's off his pie, bro. Just because he athletic and they be giving him extra blocks and shit when he at home. Look at that man home to away block percentages. Acting like he can't be soft and lead the league in blocks. Just because he got good timing and agility, that nigga soft as cake. Boy, stop playing with us in the comments. I don't want to hop on this fast and say that. Don't want to talk basketball. Keep it back. But basketball, that boy is soft.
Yeah, he's soft. I try not to go in those bins, Jay, but sometimes I get passionate about him too, man. I'm right there with you. I don't think nobody fearing Jared Jackson Jr., man. Like, yeah, but it is what it is. Appreciate you, Jay, for sharing the looks, man. Thank you, my guy. Appreciate that. Let's see if we can get we've heard from Dream, we heard from Finesse, we heard from Great White. Shout out to all the guys, man, that's coming on here dropping plays. Appreciate these 3 guys for sure. We got one more. Let's go, Sean. Sean, what's up, man? How you doing? If you're there with me, Sean, you got the floor, my guy. It's all yours. Real quick, while we're waiting for Sean, what I pulled up on the screen right now, if you're looking, is I wanted to look at teams. Hold on, give me a second. I wanted to look at teams that are like 2 good teams. So I looked at teams that have a 60% win percentage or higher. Give me a second. Yes. I looked at teams that have a 60% win percentage or higher. 2 teams, both teams are rested. Both teams have a 60% win percentage or higher before the All-Star break. And I'm looking at the home dogs. So those home dogs are 42 and 54 straight up. That's 43.8% is the time that they win the game. They are 51. This is what I was looking for. 51, 40, 54, 41, and 1. So that's 57% of the time they actually go under. And it looks like since, let's see if we can find like, I just want to add a couple things real quick. Game number is greater than or equal to 10. So yeah, it's about even. It's not too much. I do really want to get there with the under on this game. I do think that these are 2 really good defensive teams. Finesse, if you free, question for you. You think what do you think about your game today? You didn't really touch on it too much. Your Celtics versus the Thunder on the road today. What you like?
Yeah, I think it's a great game. I mean, both of these teams are really struggling to defend the 3-point line, struggling to defend, like, catch and shoot threes and shit like that. So I think threes are going to fly this game, which kind of goes against the trends that you were just talking about, the under trends. I think it's just going to be a great game, bro. I think we're deserving, obviously, to be a road favorite, even against a great team like OKC. They're playing really, really fucking well. They can play defense, but so can we. I just don't know. Last time I said this shit, I think the Celtics got spanked, but I just don't know, where did they beat us? You know what I'm saying? I think we play better defense. I think we play better offense. I think we're more versatile on offense. I expect a lot of threes. That's another game I couldn't really decide who to choose. Like, I like White tonight. I like Tatum tonight. I like Brown. There's just so many guys to like. SGA, I think can get his. So yeah, I think it's a great game. I think we're deserving to be favorites. 3.5-point road favorites, but not something I'm looking to, to bet. Make official or anything like that.
Yeah, I kind of see it feel the same way, Finesse. I feel like sometimes, just kind of piggybacking off what you said, I kind of feel like sometimes I like sometimes betting on really good games can be it can take away the enjoyment. Like if some, like when it's two really good teams and you just want to see the game and not necessarily have a bet in it. To me, that's a little bit better. That's one of the reasons why I kind of want to stay off this game. I think you get better numbers live too. Like I said, especially if the game if both of these teams come out really really hot, I will probably be looking towards the under because I do think it'll slow down. But if I can, like I said, if I can get a live number, probably gonna end up taking that a little bit more. But your sentiments are mine as well, Finesse. I just hope it's a really good game because I'm gonna be locked into this one for sure. And that's it, man. That's it. We've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. 182 people still watching live. I'm not sure how many are on Twitter, but appreciate you, David. He said we was looking for a new member and we got one. Community challenge complete. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that, David. Let's go back to Finesse real quick, and I'll give a recap real quick on everything I'm looking at. What's up, Finesse?
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
No. You good.
One of the last times I came on here, right? I think it was like right at the end. I think it happened the same kind of way, right? I've been waiting all day for Kelly Oubre props, right? No D'Anthony Melton, shit like that. His minutes have kind of been sporadic. I'm hoping that no Melt leads to hopefully 26, 28 minutes for Oubre. But I don't know if you remember a couple shows ago.
Yeah, cash over 1.5.
Around the same juice. We played it. I laddered it. You didn't. He cashed it too. So what do you think tonight? Have you looked into that at all? Obviously, Chicago was really struggling with catch and shoot threes earlier in the year. They're getting a little bit better. Obviously, a lot of focus, a lot of attention on Embiid. So I don't know. Have you looked at that at all?
Yeah, I mean, just off the cap, Vanessa, that makes a lot of sense to me. Real quick, let's look at last five. Let's look at last 3 games specifically because those been the ones without Vucevic, and then you got Drummond out there. So last 3 games, real quick, Chicago is allowing 13.7 made threes, which puts them 17th. So they're the bottom half of the league, but they are defending the 3-point line pretty well. They are top 7. They're number 7 3-point defense. But I mean, all that kind of goes out of the window when you're thinking about who they just played against. Chicago, I feel like been playing against. Let's see, who have they been playing against? Either way, I like it. I know if the number going to drop at 1.5 and he going to get an increased playing time with Embiid, potentially getting double, especially if Drummond gets in foul trouble. This one could get out of hand kind of quick, and it could lead to Embiid. I like Embiid assists for that reason, honestly. So yeah, I think so. Finesse. Looking at Chicago just played. They played Philly. They caught Philly in the second leg of a back-to-back game after they beat Houston. They played against the Pacers, which if you're slowing them down, that's actually pretty good. And they played against Atlanta. So they have been playing against some teams that do like to shoot the 3. But that doesn't mean that Oubre doesn't, can't make 2. I still would put my money on Oubre making 2 versus I put it on them, going under. What you think, Finesse?
Yeah, and I'm kind of trying to cap it quick with you. Like, so Chicago last 10 games allowing 42% from 3 from the corner. Oubre is second on the team in corner threes. He shot 45% from the corner that looks like season. Hold on, I'm sorry. Last 10. Yeah, the shit not loading, but yeah, 45%. Okay, well, yeah. So 47% from the corner last 10 games. So I think he's gonna shoot 5 or 6. Doesn't matter if they go in. I mean, that's always the the fucking what you call it. That's always what you're looking for, whether they go in or not. But yeah, interesting. They keep opening at 1.5 juice, kind of I think begging you to take the over. I don't know. I think it should be 2.5 to be honest. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk that through. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I still agree with that. I think it's more of an over than an under, especially with him coming off a game where he shot 0 for 5. Against the Bulls last game, he shot 0 for 5. And I'm pretty sure they were all pretty, decent looks. But like I said, that was a really bad travel spot because they were on the second leg of that back-to-back traveling back from Houston. So before that, he had 3 against Houston. He also has another game in here against Miami where he went 6 for 9. That was the Christmas Day game. 2 against Toronto. I think that might have been the game that we were on him. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a lot of sense. I think the volume going to be there, and he should get an uptick in minutes as well. So I like that look a lot as well from my guy from Ness. All right, so real quick, let me just do the recap real quick. So Bulls 76ers. Hold on, let me go to what I played. So Bulls 76ers. I do think that the 76ers come out here and play this one really, really tough. Like I said, double revenge spot here. They're not the Bulls are not a better team than the 76ers. Sometimes players do match up really, really well against other players, but I like 76ers. I don't know if they cover the full 10.5 to 10. The number is, coming down. But, I can see them, coming out and kind of asserting their dominance in the first half. So I'll be looking more towards Philly in the first half and the full game to go under because I think it's correlated with Chicago team total to go under. Remember, they only averaging 108 points per game, in the 3 games without Vucevic being there. So I like the full game under. I like their team total under, and I like them in the first half. Didn't get to the window with any 3 of those bets. They probably go 3-0 just because I didn't play them. Spurs and Grizzlies. I do think that the Grizzlies can smack the Spurs up. I think the Grizzlies in the first half, I think might be a better look, but I'm kind of laying off first half spreads. The Spurs typically run out of gas. They're the worst second half team in the NBA. So the Grizzlies could come out here and cover even this big 11-point number off a 31-point loss to the Sacramento Kings. Celtics and Thunder, like I said, I'm kind of staying off of that game. I can literally see it going either way. I think the Thunder are a really good team. I know that the Celtics are a really good team. And I think it's a step-up spot for the Thunder. Maybe the Thunder end up not covering the spread tomorrow against Atlanta, but Boston doesn't have a game tomorrow. So kind of lean Boston, but I can see OKC covering the spread. Really good live betting game. And then Nets and Pelicans. Pelicans first half. I'm probably going to get there. We'll see what happens. I'm not 100% sure, but I do like the Pels. One of my favorite looks for the day is Pels in the first half. The Nets just not clicking right now. 1-9 in their last 10 games. They've been literally getting smoked outside of that OKC game where they came up in the first half and did cover a spread, but it was only because they shot about 70% from the three-point line in the first quarter. Hornets and Kings. I think the Kings in the first half, their team total to go over is the best look just because I do expect them to be resting players. I'm not sure if they're going to cover this spread because their defense I don't think is good enough against good teams. I think this could be the letdown spot. Remember, the last time they lost a game, they were laying 8.5 points in Portland. Now you come home. This should be an easy win against Charlotte. Second leg of a back-to-back for the Hornets. Also, 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6, and 5th game in 7 nights for the Hornets. So Kings should, potentially score as many points as they want. I just don't think I'm going to mess with this big spread. I lost money last night taking the Denver Nuggets team total to go over in a game where they literally just didn't, have that much enthusiasm playing against the Charlotte Hornets team that's already banged up as well. And then Magic and Warriors, I really do like the Magic in this spot. Probably not going to get there. I think first half maybe makes a little bit more sense, but I also like the under. And if I had a top play of the day, it probably would be Magic and Warriors to go under the 230.5. 230, I think, is available out there as well. If the Magic going to keep the game within 3 in my eyes, it's going to be because of their defense and not necessarily their offense here. So those are my top looks. Didn't play anything. Like I said, I got absolutely smoked yesterday. Going super light if I play anything today, and then already going to try to, break down the card for tomorrow. So best of luck to everybody. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. Do me a favor, hit the like button for me on your way out, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow.